Hi, friends, and welcome to my podcast. This is a channel where I share my insights. And today I'd like to talk to you about, does a full schedule make a full life? I'd like to talk to you about the illusion of busyness. How that is a badge of honor, and how the ego loves to make itself feel important behind a full schedule. When I think the secret of success is a very empty schedule. Stick around and let's talk about the illusion of a full schedule. I'm always amazed at how many people are swamped, overwhelmed, and busy. And somehow we have built a society that is hypnotized into thinking that a full schedule means a full life. In the same way that a full bank account is a full life. And to me, being swamped, it's just so busy, just work is just flying by. Life is just flying by. To me, those are red flags which indicate that life is empty. That there is no sustenance or satiation whatsoever. And that the full schedule is leading you to be an empty shell of a person. Now, that was me. My so-called full schedule as department chair in a major metropolitan university, doing my things, you would have thought that I had this rich and full life. Classes and meetings and concerts. I was a musician. I had 2 jobs. Back to back to back to back to back. And you know what I noticed? I noticed that I was crispy. Stressed out. And I was yearning for more, but I couldn't get the more by adding things to my calendar. And they kept coming. When I wanted to take them off, I wanted to get things off of my plate. And the more I got things off of my plate, the plate got bigger. It was like a proliferation of fullness, which only made me feel more and more empty. You ever feel that way? So we have people who are hypnotized into thinking that busyness means importance. And busyness makes you exceptional. And it's exceptionalism. Like me, I'm so special. I'm so important. I'm so amazing. Because my life is so full. And I think you can probably relate that those people at the top who don't have time are actually participating in a life that does not have any quality. Now, that is not to say that someone with a full schedule does not feel the fullness of life, or that somebody who is very productive is not feeling that fullness of life. But I doubt it. Because if you go back in history and you look at the work schedules of people like Albert Einstein, Ernest Hemingway, Emerson, poets and musicians, the creative mind cannot be active under a deadline. I don't think that duress, stress, pressure, urgency, I cannot sense this in my own life, that that sense of lack frustrates the abundant flow of creativity. And so that if your schedule is full and you don't have the time that it takes to devote to whatever it is that you love and want to do, the quality of it goes down. Yet we keep adding things to our calendar, thinking this makes us important. So I do not gravitate towards busy people. It's not that you don't point the finger at them. You don't say, oh, well. You just begin to recognize that they don't have time for you. And that's okay. They haven't seen through the hypnosis yet. There's a person in my life who you ask them how they're doing, and the word busy is almost in every interaction. And I giggle. That's fine. Good for you. You know, what do you say to somebody like this? Oh, I'm just so busy. Oh. I mean, you know. So you have to start, if you're interested in the fullness of life, like getting away from the lure of busyness, trying to get away from your full schedule, you must realize that you're going to do it in the midst of your full schedule. You're not going to clear your schedule to clear your head, to clear your mind, and to clear your heart. This is going to happen to you in the middle of the mess. That's what happened to me. This happened to me at the start of a school year. All of it just... And I couldn't breathe. Hundreds of emails. Lots of students needing their schedules changed. Meetings to schedule. Always, as I added things to my schedule, more things needed to be added to my schedule. The quality of my life was so diluted, it was completely wrung out of any quality. So in the midst of it all, I woke up. And I didn't just quit cold turkey. I had to slowly remove people, situations, mental activity. I had to drop the ball. Literally drop the ball. Right there. And I had no plan B. I had not enough to quit. But I realized why. I was in a lacking mindset. A full schedule is a result of a lacking mindset. Because you keep thinking that one day you'll be able to clear your schedule and really relax. One day you'll have enough money to really do this and you can relax. Someday he'll come along and he'll be big and strong, the man I love. This is the idea that better days are ahead, so I'm going to work really hard now. That's lack mentality, friends. That's having no time. So I started removing things out of my life before I realized what I was doing. So you likely, if you're sitting here watching Ryan Hebert talk about this, you are hearing the call of the silence and the stillness, and the nature of timelessness is being revealed to you. Congratulations. You might not quite understand what I'm saying, but you will resonate with this idea of being swamped and in the weeds and overwhelmed and wondering, is there a different kind of living? And yes, there is, but you're not going to quite understand it until you start removing things. Dropping the ball. Stop thinking you have to keep all these plates in the air. And begin to trust that all you have to do is really very simple. But just to pay attention to the call of the silence. And I don't believe many of us have yet learned how to be quiet. But it will start gradually. For me, it started with no radio in the car. I couldn't listen to NPR anymore. No more TV. No more social media. No more mindless scrolling. No more addictions. So much habitual action had to be removed. And it didn't even feel like I was removing it. It just felt like the scales falling off of my eyes one at a time. Let's put it this way. I didn't clear my calendar. My calendar was cleared for me. The silence called me. The quiet called me. The earth called me. My basic coming to my senses called me. There was no making this happen. This is happening in you if you're watching this. This I can promise you and assure you. Keep moving towards it. Now what you're going to start doing is hypothetically thinking these two things. What would I do if I had all the time in the world and all the money in the world? If your brain switches and shifts to that mentality, you are on your way to an amazing freedom. Because you're beginning to shift out of the hypnotic state of not having enough. If you can hypothetically dream like that, okay, maybe your schedule's full. Great. And you're one of these busy types and you're waking up from the illusion, you're going to start wondering, if I had all the time in the world, and you still don't think you do, and if I had all the money in the world, and you still don't think you do, you can at least theorize, what would I do? And I tell you what you would start doing. Number one, you would rest. That's the first thing people would do. If they suddenly came into the realization that they have all the time and money in the world, they would rest. That's what I did. I rested. In the middle of all of it, I simply stopped, kind of caring. I dropped the ball. I let certain things fall by the wayside. I started to trust. I didn't get all meddly and check on people. I just sort of I delegated a lot of stuff in my last year of teaching. I didn't know I was doing all this. Rest was important to me. So you'll rest a lot. Number two, play. Remember, I want you to think about your life. If you had all the time and all the money, you're no more in need. Then you're going to play. You're going to play for a while. Rest until you feel rejuvenated. Play. Number three, you're going to recreate. Do some exercise. You see, that's another thing, but a lot of people procrastinate. When I clear my schedule, I'm going to exercise. When I can afford a trainer, then I'm going to exercise. This is going to happen in the middle of your life. In the middle of these things will come to you. Before you have the money or anything, you're going to do it anyway. Trust me. It's happened to me. You're going to recreate. And number 4, you're going to serve. Number 5, you're going to have fun. Those are the 5 things you're going to start doing. So it starts as a hypothetical. You say, gosh, that would be so nice to have all the money in the world and the time in the world. Your brain shifts. All of a sudden it goes click. And it starts going into an abundant mindset. You don't feel like you could. It's a hypothetical life that suddenly becomes real. You get into this timeless state. And you suddenly start creating things that are of service to people. You start becoming generous. Before the bank account allows you to. These people that say, when I get rich, I'm going to retire my parents. No. You're going to start giving them a little bit of money every month now. Whatever you have, you're going to start doing that now. You see, generosity starts before the evidence of it comes back to you. One of the things you might do is waste time. That's a good one. If you're a person who has a full schedule and you think it makes you important, and you suddenly start shifting into an abundant mindset, you're going to start wasting time. Wasting time is playing with the kids. Wasting time is coloring in a coloring book. Wasting time is not going to be scrolling. That's mindless time. You're going to get away from that. You're going to get more into more intentional things. Meeting someone for a coffee and chatting for 2-3 hours. Sitting in a park bench watching the people for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. Sitting by the water and closing your eyes and hearing it, that's wasting time. And you're going to start wasting money. And I'm putting this in quotes because it's not wasting money. You're just going to throw it around like Monopoly money. You're going to have massages and hire a personal trainer. And these are the things I've done. Just complete frivolity. You're going to start treating yourself to all these things and buying people dinners and just because you've come into an abundant mindset, and before you see any evidence of it, you're going to realize you don't need the evidence. This is a shift from internality, and you're going to go into this rich inner life, which has all the time and all the money in the world. It's going to enlightenment is discovering the vast, endless supply of the inner life. Now, here's the thing about your journey into the inner life. It starts off as a little pilot light, like a gnawing in the back of your mind. And you're going to find yourself drifting to these quiet activities. You're going to either gravitate towards people if you're a recluse, or you're going to move away from people. I was around too many people. I had to go into the indwelling of aloneness for a long time. So it's like a little pilot light. When you go into the vast interior, the pilot light is going to be a little tiny dot that you're going to want to move towards. And you're going to go into a sojourn or a desert period. And as you dive into the darkness and the void, the pilot light will disappear. And you'll look back. This is just metaphorical how the inner life might be working in your sense. You'll look back and realize, I've come so far and I can't find the pilot light anymore. It'll seem to have vanished. That's the dark night of the soul. Now that's an ancient mystic principle of desert dwelling or forest dwelling where nothing seems to be happening. It's what happens is the things of the world become strangely dim. Everybody seems to leave your life. Opportunities dry up. Momentum ceases. And you can't go back. You can't go back to your old self. You have to go into the dark night of the soul. It's a little weird because it takes a long time to go into the vastness of the inner world. But then the spotlight returns. And it brightens, and it shows you that the chakras were blocked. Now, I don't like to get in all that Sanskrit stuff because I don't think people understand chakras. But chakra is a Sanskrit word that means spinning disc. And you know why Abraham Hicks says, let's get on our spinning disc. This is the idea that momentum comes from you. So the rich inner life comes through and out of you, and the outpicturing, the hologram that you see as reality, is a reflection of your inner life. And some people have an impoverished inner life, a sleeping inner life, an empty inner life, which is compensated for with a busy schedule. Pockets full of money and lots of stuff. It's okay. They will be called by the silence and the stillness, hopefully, as you are. And how do we introduce people to the fullness of life? We simply become a presence in their life. You don't have to say anything. A person with a full schedule will not sit here and watch my 20-minute video. They're going to want to know the Reader's Digest. What's the pill version? There's no pill version of this fullness. It is a slow process which is happening in you. And I can tell you, when you begin to recognize what's happening to you, it's quite freeing. And the hypothetical of having all the time in the world and all the money in the world becomes not a hypothetical, but a truth. And you'll never be bound by time, bound by money. Those things are no longer limits because something goes before you. It's your preeminence. And so your true nature comes out and you get creative. You have this abundance of time and you can sit and think. I often look out the sky and think about what to say in my videos, and it's just constant abundance. You become a generous person and you become playful and you're interested in where life is leading you. You take advantage of every little opportunity, even if nothing's going on. You go for bike rides. I go for bike rides and swims, and you are free from the lacking mindset that a lot of people are imprisoned by. So the fullness of life would really begin to evolve when the fullness of your schedule decays. And if you've had the wherewithal to watch this entire video, welcome. Welcome to this wonderful, timeless, abundant, loving, caring, generous world that is rich in you. And we want to be examples of this conversion by doing things that serve others. Because you have all the time and money in the world, what else is there to do except serve others? And that's coming from a joyful place, not a place from lack or guilt. Just because it's purely frivolous, playful, joyful, and loving. So, I hope this was helpful to you. It might be time to start diminishing the schedule and having that open, free time for spontaneity, whimsy, play, recreation, love, and joy. And this idea of survivalism is a myth. You're well cared for. You can trust it. And the more you trust it, the more time stands still for you. And the more fullness of life you have, and the barriers vanish. They literally vanish because you've created them. Okay, give that some thought, and I do hope that my insights were helpful to you on your journey. My name is Ryan Hebert. Please check out my blog and subscribe, mymorningmotivator.com. And thank you